Welcome back in a series of Kickstarters for CAT. And essentially, this is a little bit of the syllabus and all the advanced things are already there. But this is a starting point for beginners or somebody who's starting their journey again. And we are looking at essentially what is the syllabus outline and how to go about it. And for once, coming up with a plan, right, before we get into uh, activities. So let me just check if the sound is available. Yeah. Okay. So that's the idea that before we start the journey, we get into uh, what is the journey and how to go about it and how to, let's say, maximize our potential, right? So some of you might be looking at this video when there are around 8, 9 months between now and the test date. And some of you might have a test coming up in 3 months or 6 months. So whatever information is being given can be compressed according to your needs. So if I say do a topic in 12 days for a 8 month, 10 month plan, if you're looking at a 3 month plan, then you have to do the same topic in half the time or in 5 days instead of 2 weeks, right? So how much time do you have is a function of when you start and when you decide to, because even though you may have started earlier, you might not have really kicked the process on so far. So I will request you to adjust that time factor according to your needs and desire because some of you will watch it now and there are 10 months to the exam and some of you will watch it 3 months before the exam. So when I give a schedule for a particular topic, okay guys, listen, you can take 45 days and finish arithmetic. That is for those people who are starting early and have enough time to devote this kind of a time slab to a particular topic, right? So adjust the video according to your need because I know some of you will watch it uh, very early and some of you will end up watching it very late. So I'm just adding a message for those late watchers, right? So before we get into the syllabus, we also want to talk about the mindset, right? The syllabus is going to be quite easy. And in fact, yeah, let's start with that idea that the test is not difficult, or let's say the syllabus or the QA portion that you have to finish is not difficult. You are difficult, right? Or let's say I am the problem. When I say I mean you, and whoever is preparing, or whenever we try and master a new skill or start a new journey, the challenge is often not the subject or the, let's say you want to run a marathon the first day, what you should do or you want to learn the piano, what is the first day that should be done? I'm not talking about becoming an expert in one day, but starting the journey, right? But if you have tried anything, and I hope you have somewhere or the other picked up a new goal and pursued it, you will, and especially if it's not a super fun goal, let's say, right? Like, I'm sure spending time with your beloved will be very, very easy. But spending devoted time on a skill or a subject might feel difficult, right? So one thing that we have to figure out is that the subjects are not challenging at all, right? That's an important part. The challenging part is you being disciplined for the next 8, 10 months, right? So half of your journey is going to be about self mastery, right? The outline of what needs to be done is very, very clear. All kinds of courses and syllabuses are available, pre-loaded. You don't even have to wait for classes anymore. Because earlier in the earlier model, you would go to class one day, then 2 days later, then alternate days or whatever. And the content that was being given to you was limited to those 2 hours. These days, even that is not a challenge. So you can just log into a stack of courses and just go rapidly through it, right? Depending on how much time do you have available. I'm talking to an adult learner who's talking about a serious test. So, uh, keeping that in mind, right? So, uh, we have to understand that we have to develop a mindset where I am consistent about my process. I am working on discipline. The best way to do it, and we'll talk more about this topic as well. Uh, the best way to do it is somehow get into the habit of doing it, irrespective of how you are feeling, right? Because the feelings change on a daily basis. So your measure for the next, for the first, let's say, month or 2 months of the journey should not even be what progress are you making in the subject. Is it? It should be, are you showing up on a daily basis, right? Are you, when you make a plan for yourself, okay, this week I'm going to master ratios and variations, and I'm going to learn 100 words. Am I sticking to that plan? And that is very, very important because the more, say, you make a plan and you don't follow it up, first of all, the moment you make a plan and you don't execute it, your own brain will start attacking you, will start releasing certain chemicals in your body, which will not make you feel good, right? So one of the parts of making it, getting the process started is to set a clear goal. And then even if it feels bad after 1 week, you observe and say, okay, I told myself I was going to do this, but I wasn't able to do it. What are the barriers? What are the problems? Can I? And again, all the information of the world is available at your fingertips. So, okay, how do I develop a habit, right? And these are topics for you to work on. Of course, we'll together also discuss it. But finally, let's say even if there was no teacher, would I learn this? Yeah, I would learn this because I have the internet access, right? So get into that habit zone where no matter what, you're spending that regular time consistently, or be the kind of person who finishes things in one go. Okay, I just stayed with ratios for 2 days and finished it in 2 days because the course is already there, so I can go very, very fast through it. And rest of the 3, 4 days I play and party and do whatever, and then again 2, 3 days I do a lot, right? So if you're that kind of a person, that is also great. But then you will have to measure your monthly consistency. Okay, I am smart, I can do things fast, but again, have I met my monthly goal? You might not have to do a daily basis kind of a goal setting, but my best recommendation is to somehow get it into a daily habit zone because whatever is habituated, you don't have to think about it then. It's on autopilot. So somehow, if you can convince your brain, okay, this is what needs to be done, and you can be a little flexible about your schedule. I'm not very particular about, let's say, doing it at the same time. But and I have personally always avoided too much of structured time because I was like, no, my creativity will get restricted. But as I'm growing up and getting older, I'm realizing that no, there's a lot of value in having a discipline because, for example, let's say if I'm hitting my workout routine, and even on days that I'm not feeling it because it's been so long that I've been doing it at that particular time, even if I don't feel like it, sometimes I see that, oh, I've dressed up and reached my workout space. And then I will start, okay, I will not do a 1 hour, but I'll only do 20 minutes. But then you do 20 minutes and you end up doing 1 hour anyway, right? That's the power of habits. That means you start something and it happens on its own. Right? Syllabus we'll come to in a second. It'll be very, very quick. Uh, so that would be a very important feature of your journey that can I put it on autopilot where I don't have to think again and again what I'm doing. I already know because I've done so much of it. It just happens on its own. That means hitting those 1.5 hours of math sessions, maybe reading 5 articles in a day, always having a book or a newspaper handy, right? All those good habits, they are in your pocket, and then your life will be very, very easy. And you'll see in 3 months, 4 months, you have made a lot of progress. In 6 months, still more, and then you're just getting better on a daily basis, right? So that would be one, the habit part. The second would be no fear plus joy, right? Now, no fear means that if I say I'm going to appear or this is my goal, CAT is my goal or GMAT is my goal, and then there is a subject in the way, algebra or geometry, then there is no time for fear and say, oh, I don't like geometry. What you like, don't like, it doesn't matter. Now you have a goal. There is a topic, and my contention is you have a human brain. A human brain can learn anything, right? Even if I might not be able to do it, right? Let's say I'm pretty convinced that I can teach anyone anything. But let's say even if you remove, there might be some other resource, some other teacher, or you might figure it out on your own. But once you decide, okay, boss, I need to learn geometry, then I need to learn geometry. Then there is no time for feelings and fear and I'm scared of it. No, you're not, right? I mean, yeah, you're convinced that you are scared of maths or whatever, but so removing that and developing a growth mindset, right? Okay, I do not know geometry or algebra, let's say yet. Each day I can get better and better, right? I will learn a little bit, I will stick to the fundamentals and I'll improve because that's possible for a human brain. Now, when we were in school, some of us might have struggled with maths because of poor teaching, being distracted, all the hormones are sprouting in your body, and 20 other things. You're just growing up, and the universe is all bright and shiny. But now you've had more time on this planet Earth, your systems are more under your control. So you can say, okay, I'm a grown up adult. This is a task that I've given myself. I will learn it, right? And again, resources are available from all kinds, from 7th standard maths to, let's say, whatever CAT coaching, all kinds of resources are available for you to build your journey wherever you want to start from, wherever your starting point is. And joy means having fun with it. Somebody wrote to me saying that, oh, I will discuss this also again in detail, but let's say I go and play badminton, and that is very easy because I'm excited about it, I go there. And scheduling also, I'm very consistent also, but when it comes to this CAT preparation, I'm not consistent. What do you think is the reason? And I was like, obviously, you have written the reason in your mail only, that you're excited about badminton, right? So essentially, then you have to bring the same excitement to this process or any process. If you're not excited about it, the learning will be the rate of learning, the absorption of it, everything is going to be very limited if you do not have joy in the process. That means you're having fun with the process, right? So then you have to somehow make either the teacher could be fun and the course might be fun, or even irrespective of that, you have to make it a game. And then how do I do it? I will celebrate every little victory. If I solve one question, I will say, Shabash, come on, well done, because I need to feel good about it, right? And then slowly you'll see that it becomes a part of your personality, that you enjoy solving these 10 problems, right? Irrespective of whether you get all 10 of them or not, you enjoy the game. Then it becomes whether it's chess or table tennis or badminton, eventually it's a game of your brain. If you're playing badminton or basketball and you're a beginner, you will learn, your body will do a lot of things, but finally it's being done by your brain. So basically, your brain, as long as it is your mind, whatever you want to call it, the consciousness plus information packet, if it's engaged, it's happy, right? So you just have to realize that, okay, if I start doing it, and start making even if a little bit of a progress, I'll start having fun with it. And then I can find out more hacks to make it more interesting for myself. I can work with other people. I can learn from someone who makes it easy for me to learn. I can play games around it, etc. Right? And I can do a group study where there's a little bit of studying and there's a little bit of more engagement, etc. So all of those can happen, but it's a very important part of learning, right? Because and of course, I've also experienced the same. I am also going through the same thing. 2 hours of basketball, very, very easy, right? I'm going to play basketball almost every day and I'm very enthusiastic and I reach there before time. But a lot of other things, very, very difficult because compared to whatever that fun that is had in that process, maybe washing your clothes or cleaning the room is not that much fun. But then somehow you get into a place where you say whatever you're doing is joyous, right? That could be a separate spiritual how to release your intelligence video, but actually that's true. Whatever you're doing can be fun. Maybe develop that mindset and approach the process, right? So the growth mindset is very, very necessary because it's a matter of belief. Whatever you believe turns out to be true. If you believe that you are not good at maths, then every time you look at a maths problem, even before you can actually look at the problem, this statement, this belief comes in the way and basically damages your performance, right? So it's very important that you figure out these limiting beliefs that are going on in your mind, and instead of this, whatever you have picked up, oh, this is difficult or I'm bad at this, you remove it and you develop a growth mindset, a beginner's mindset. You okay? I can start today because I've seen so many videos. People have learned so many things. I am also a human being. I am also capable of that, right? I stick to that. Not that you're special or I'm special. The human brain is very, very special. It is designed to learn. Only if you push it in a direction, it will then follow like a rocket, right? So that would be my beginning space, right? That am I happy about what I'm doing or not? Because then learning or following up becomes very, very easy. If you're constantly sad, let's say you want to be an actor, right? Because somebody's written to me also, hey, sir, I want to be an actor. And I was like, yeah, then go and act, right? Then go to Bombay or whatever kind of actor you want to be. You want to do theater, join a theater club or apply to National School of Dramatics and follow it up. And then you will realize that there also is the same effort, right? But it's just that it will not feel like effort because you love it, you love doing it. So obviously, if you have that kind of a passion for something already, you love building rockets, no, you are an athlete, you just want to play cricket for India, obviously then those are the things to do for you. But once you, if you're in a space where you're like, okay, I haven't figured this out yet, and I am in need of a job and money, and I need good money, and for a general career in commerce, right? Then this is a journey for you. Then you might as well get excited about it. You convince yourself, ki, no, no, bro, I love this thing, right? So it's a matter of convincing yourself. Secondly, as we move through the topic list in a minute, but fundamentals are more important, right? So a lot of people make the mistake of going for fancy techniques, fancy shortcut. My approach is definitely fundamentals driven. Not only mine, it's because it's designed, I mean, influenced by the test also that I've been training for. Because fundamentals are more important and formulas will not work, right? Because the test is designed to break formulas. Formulaic learning is where you're like, okay, this is the formula, I apply it this way, but the problem will be twisted and turned around in so many ways. It will be very easy, just that the direct application that a lot of us are used to in school days will not come in. So you need to be clear about what the concept is, what do terms mean. If maths concept are essentially the meaning of terms, right? And then the games you play along with it. So fundamentals are way, way, way more important. Clarity there, right? So even if you look at any of the courses, you will see they are bottom heavy, right? In the beginning, a lot of time is spent because then later problem solving becomes very, very easy, right? So fundamentals, 1 hour, only 3 ideas might be discussed, but that allows me later to do very advanced problems in 1 hour, 30 problems in 1 hour because I know you know the term, you know the meaning, you know that basic operation or function that is going to run there, right? So fundamentals driven learning, say no to formulas. In fact, my focus, if you go into the actual content videos or the actual like where the maths is being taught, you'll see that except for geometry, even there we try and derive the formula first, right? We prove the formula to ourselves, figure it out why it's working, rather than just applying it blindly. Even though there are obviously some questions that will happen where you can just apply the formula and get the answer quickly, that is great, right? There'll be some tests also like that, which are very straightforward. You apply the formula and you get the answer. But if you're preparing for the being the best in the best in the business, you want to hit the top. Not only I am a top I am, then you have to be that kind of a person who's clear with what are the fundamental operations, right? And it works everywhere. Whether you want to learn guitar theory or basketball, you go to a basketball coach and say, okay, so what is important? He'll say fundamentals first, right? Okay, ball handling. How is your basic shooting, right? Can you hitting the basket? Yeah, this I'm applying from my own learnings, right? So say no to formulas, develop creativity and problem solving. Essentially, that you enjoy decoding the problem, right? You're not always running to find a solution from someone else. If the problem is challenging, it's great. You solve. There are 10 problems given to you. You solve 8 of them. 2 of them are left. They should bother you, right? Don't be in a hurry to find the answer because sometimes I had to add extra questions in the course because I'd already solved so much. I was worried about that part of it. So I was like, no, there should be some questions where there's no answer given. You have to figure it out or you have to struggle. And then again, immediate, like, don't be in a hurry. So you say, okay, what is it? Why can't I solve this problem? Because I believe that I have a human brain. It is capable of doing basic math. There's nothing more than that. Even if advanced is required, we'll learn that also. But I'm saying this is basic maths. Let me look at the problem again. Let me see where I was making the mistake. And maths is very, very concrete and digital, fact checkable. So you can see where you might be going wrong, right? Or come up with another way of looking at it. So, and developing as you develop your fundamentals, because once your fundamentals are clear, you can approach a problem from the left or the right, or you can visualize it. More tools are opened up, right? So you try it one way and then, or you might solve it one way and then say, okay, can I solve it another way, right? So especially in arithmetic, you will see there are multiple ways of approaching the problem. In algebra and number system, you have those limited tools and at your disposal. So a lot of it is very automatic also. But especially in arithmetic or overall, the mindset should be, okay, I enjoy a challenge, right? When this problem I can't solve, it's not, oh, I can't do it. It's like, okay, yeah, let's look at the problem. Let's spend more time with it. I will go have a cup of tea, come back, and check the problem again, and then check the problem again. And then also, even if I ask someone, I should be sharing my steps. Okay, listen, you're good at maths. I will tell you what I have done. Tell me where I'm wrong, because that is more important than just getting the answer. Because somebody will give you the full solution and you'll be like, yeah, आया, समझ में आया, right? But it's better to figure out what were you doing wrong. Now, that's not a part of, or let's say that's not possible in a low cost democratic program, because then the cost becomes the same. You need an individual teacher who's looking at a problem. So that's why fundamentals first, so that you can be your own teacher and figure out where you're going wrong, right? Story form, verbalization, visualization, different ways of looking at a problem, all based on fundamentals again, will again definitely help, right? And the last two are very, very simple and very important for the professional test taker, right? Like the above six, seven, whatever, 5 points were for anybody going on any journey, that would have worked. But targeted practice, right? So you decide, it's not like one day you're studying ratios and then 2 days later you will do algebra, and then 3 days later you're doing geometry, and in between you were doing something else. You say, okay, there is a skill called, let's say, multiplying factors and time and work problems, right? Five men can do this in so many days, and then I learn that concept and then I do targeted practice, 25 questions on the same topic till that concept is, because the concept will be made easy to understand anyway. Now I want drill, right? I want to do it so many times that I have speed there and I have instant recall there, right? That's where the speed will come from, because you're solved on that one particular small idea, right? Not a mixed set of ratio problem, just only that one idea practice 25 times. Then the next idea practice 25 times, right? So, especially for beginners, because your advanced, like people who have appeared for an engineering test 3 years ago, right? They've already gone through this. They did those 25 questions, or they did it in school, right? So, for those of you who are weak at it, especially this targeted practice is very, very important, right? And then repetition is mastery. The more you can repeat the idea to yourself, the that's your mastery level, right? Because you should be able to basically recite the whole thing to your younger cousin, right? Like you should be able to train him on that topic in the same possible flow. Okay, okay, this, these are the 8 ideas, and they're all on my fingertips, right? So targeted practice and then doing the subjects a couple of times. So both of these are again included in the course design. So when we do, let's say, a variation time and work problem, we just don't move on. We do 25 problems in the video itself, and then there is an exercise. Even in the first round itself, there is a lot of repetition happening of the same idea till I'm assuming you watch it all. Because I know some of you who are good at it will say, okay, I've seen five, rest I will solve on my own and move on. I've kept it in the video for that person who struggles. So he just watches it all, and then by the end of it, he has done 25 problems with me at least. And so he's just warmed up and ready and not very scared of the topic, right? So that would be the mindset approach, because I'm sure the syllabus has been shared and you would know the syllabus anyway. So I wanted to talk about the psychology, the philosophy required, and we'll talk more about it also again in detail. But that's the kind of mindset that I require. I want to work on my habits. I want to have this growth mindset that I can learn. I have a human brain; it can learn anything. I just need to find the right resources, or give it enough time passionately, right? That I hit the topic. And again, complex topics are made up of very simple ideas. So you start with very simple, and then you complicate, and you reach the top of the pyramid, right? So that would be the mindset side. Syllabus wise and scheduling wise, you have five big topics, and again, I'm prioritizing them. The order is important. Arithmetic is the most important, right? If you're a struggler, and because let's say even if you take 4 months, right, starting now, you take 4 months, let's say you have 1 year for the exam, you take 4 months and only master, but thoroughly master arithmetic, you can hit a 98, 99 percentile in QA, right? I'm assuming you are weak and you want to just, you can't deal with everything. So even if you just master this one topic, you have a very high chance of clearing the cutoff at least, and even maybe more, right? More than 50% of the test in recent years has been is heavily arithmetic dominated. So that's the CAT part. But if you're preparing for that, then you need to like have all the topics in your pocket. If you're preparing for GMAT, then again you have to have a all for as in, of course, people have preferences, but that's what I want you to lose, right? The difference between algebra and geometry should vanish. If you are good at it, great. If you're already good at it, sir, I was very good at geometry. I loved it. I know all of it. Great. So then obviously you're sorted. But if you're not good at algebra, you must bring it to the same level as geometry. If you're saying you mastered it at the same level, right? So we want to lose that topic preference as such and just generally become good at problem solving. So even if I look at geometry, let's say if I was learning geometry today with the ideas that I have about learning, even if I found a totally random problem about circles and I did not know how to solve it, I know very quickly that I need to master circles and theory, right? How long will that take? 2 days, maybe, right? Okay. Triangle and similarities. Okay, let me figure out all the triangle and similarities rules first. Figure out and play how they have been derived, what's the basic play involved, and then try the problem again. And then, okay, look at the solution after 2 days and say, okay, I did not know this particular rule, so I go and find that rule, add it to my tool list, right? Like, okay, I did not know that there is a sign rule which can be used like that. So, okay, well, 1 hour of research and you have the sign rule in your pocket. How does the sign rule work? 5 examples of sign rule, and then you added it, right? So we want that kind of an approach. But if you're looking for CAT specifically, strategy wise, preparing based on what has happened previously, arithmetic is the most important topic, right? And what is arithmetic? Arithmetic is ratios and proportion. Income of A and B are in this ratio, their savings are in this ratio, what will be their expenditure? Or 5 people can do some work in 10 days, and 15 people will do in how many days if it is raining and they can only work at half the rate. Someone sold it at this price and purchased at this price. This is the percentage of profit. This kind of language, right? Very real world, very language driven. You will not see too many complicated math symbols. There will always be a story, especially arithmetic is story driven. That this car was going from here to there at a speed of 65 km per hour, and then while coming back there was an engine problem, so they came at this kilometer per hour. How much will be the time saving? If all of this details you will get in your actual one, like the syllabus part, right, which is already there. But just in terms of how does it feel, right? Algebra would be, oh, this is ax square plus bx plus c. So notice there's no story. There is a symbol ax square plus bx plus c. But even behind the symbol at a fundamental level, there is a story which you must master, right? So arithmetic is the most important. Now, if I talk about let's say a 6 month plan, right? So I would give arithmetic around 30 to 45 days. Even in arithmetic, we'll get into the details in a minute. Uh, I would spend more time with fundamentals because once I do that, I can accelerate a lot later, right? Which I mentioned earlier. Then, if I've mastered arithmetic, then my next priority would be algebra because, and then again, fundamentals of algebra, what is a quadratic equation? Linear equations almost most people can solve. Even if you can't, it takes a day to figure it out, right? So, or again, for bad at maths people, I will make a separate video, right? So, for now, I'll assume that, yeah, you have done basics in school, right? What is a quadratic equation? Even if you have forgotten, after 1 hour of effort, you will know what the basic formula is. So even if you're planning to say, okay, no, algebra is not for me, you must know the basics because maybe some question can be done by just by basics, right? So you must know the terms involved. And then the overall problem solving mindset might come in handy. And with very basic ideas, you can solve very complicated things, especially in an exam like CAT, right? Then if I have mastered these two, I will get into geometry and then number system because algebra will cover a lot of it, but the few topics which just related with numbers. But very few marks in the recent years, very heavily arithmetic algebra given. But again, if I'm preparing for B school journeys, including let's say ZAT and SNAP and IIFT, then I have to cover all topics. And it's a great idea to challenge yourself and learn it anyway, right? And then lastly would be modern maths. Now for CAT, modern maths is very limited, but for ZAT, it could happen that the whole section is just about modern maths, right? So again, depending on what exams are you preparing for, you can adjust your strategy. But ideally, I would say if you have the time, if you have the luxury of time, then I would learn everything. If you're looking at a 2 year program, then I would definitely learn everything, right? I would want to master everything as a personal challenge, right? So, That would be the overall five big topics. A simple benchline or benchmark would be 1 month per big topic. So 1 month for arithmetic, if you're good at maths already, let's say 1 month for algebra, 1 month for geometry, 1 month for, and 1 month is a lot of time if you hit daily 2.5 hours, right? Or maybe you have some free time on a day, so you do 3 hours, 4 hours in one day, don't do it the other day, again do 2, 3 hours on the next day. But essentially, you're staying at the topic, and then you will see that in a 1 month period, a lot of progress can be made. Then, of course, you can take 10 extra days, and if you're struggling with the topic, right? But what happens again, we go back to the psychology part is, I say 30 days, but try 30 days of consistent work, and you will see that it's reasonably difficult, right? You are not hitting 30 days all the time. So that's where the challenge will lie, as I said in the beginning, that it will lie with you, not with the syllabus, not with the ideas, not with the actual maths problem. Those are going to be very, very easy after like half an hour of effort or 15 minutes of learning an idea, right? So in arithmetic, what is the guideline? We have ratios and variation, we have percentages and profit, loss and discount, we have averages, mixtures and solution, we have time and rate, and speed, distance, etc. Right? So you can write it down somewhere, Google each one of them, find a few problems, how they look like. A little bit of work I'm leaving to you also, or you can log in, find the QA course, go through the syllabus individually each module and check out what's there and how it is stacked, right? So the topic guideline you will get anywhere. So that would be arithmetic. In arithmetic, there are five major topics: ratio and variation, percentages. Now, what you will have to learn is that if you master ratios well, percentages mastery would become slightly easy, right? Because you've already done a lot of foundation work that is going to be repeated in percentages. Then you will see that if you have done ratios and percentages really, really well, your averages and mixtures and solutions where you're applying percentages and ratios becomes very, very easy. In fact, the uh, ninja samurai warrior mindset would be okay, what is the common thing between across all of them? Because once you hit that, then this division of topic can also be eliminated, and you just say, okay, I know the basic terms. What does ratio mean? What does percentage mean? What does average mean? What is the meaning of this first time? Let's say if I see a problem, oh, a solution with 5:3 ratio and a solution with this ratio. I've never seen a problem like that. So I might take 15 minutes to acclimatize. Say, okay, what does it mean? And then I just apply a ratio and percentage, I can solve the topic. I don't even need those special tools. We'll do all the special tools, we'll do all the creative methods, but that mindset, right? Okay, fundamentals, ratio and percentages, I just using these two, I can figure out the rest, right? So that's why priority wise, this is my order: ratio and variation, then percentages, averages and mixtures, and then time and rate and time, speed and distance would be another topic, which is a super fun topic anyway. So the more time you spend in fundamentals, the better your journey is going to be in the following topics, right? This would be the guideline for algebra. Maybe take a screenshot and again individually Google each of these terms. Linear equations in two variables. Some of you might remember it from school. And if you don't remember, it's 1 hour of effort to learn the basics. Then 25 problems is another hour of effort to solve 20 odd basic linear equations or problems, and you're done. You have it in your pocket. Quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c. What are the roots, alpha and beta? Some of it might be ringing, or you will learn it, right? Functions and graphs. The graphs are very important because once you visualize your algebra, then life becomes very, very easy. And functions are the backbone of essentially why we use algebra anyway. So you learn the basics and then you work with a couple of functions and you're good to go, right? New topics or topics which seem unfamiliar to people from school days is inequalities, maybe some maxima, minima. Again, everything is done in school. Some of it might be done in just around the later years, right? So some of you might have struggled with that. Series and progression means AP and GP and other kind of sequences. So this would be your algebra guideline. So you say, okay, linear equations I will take 1 day, 2 days maybe, right? Even if I'm very, very slow. But series and progression, I can take 3 days and work on it and really, really master it because it might be a newer topic, a more difficult topic. Because remember, linear equation starts in standard sixth or seventh, and then is repeated in seventh, then repeated in eighth, and repeated in ninth. And this series and progression happens only in ninth and 10th, right? So the time given to the topic might be limited in school. So you say, okay, and again, you give 3 days each, and you make your own plan. Of course, day by day is already locked in the schedule. Okay, day zero, day one, how much you should do in each day is already kind of decided by the video size as such. And approximately, we're looking at doing 1 hour of video work and 1 hour of solving work, right? So you have a sheet, you solve it, then you watch the video, or you watch the video and then you try out a few more questions as well. So 2.5 hours per day. Algebra can be done in a couple of weeks, right? So if I said only do it in class in a live classroom, it would take around uh, uh, 2.5 weeks on a daily basis, right? But because it's already in video form, a lot of time is saved. You can do it in 2 weeks. Uh, Comfortably, right? And then again, if you're good at algebra, you already knew half the stuff all from school, then you can obviously go faster because you won't have to slow down. Just watching it once will be enough, and then straight away you can go to the questions. If you're weak, I recommend watching the basics very with a lot of care, and then maybe watching it a couple of times till the story is very, very ingrained, right? So familiarity will obviously make a difference. So that would be your algebra outline. In geometry, we have our basic theorems, parallel lines, what happens, transfer parallels and transversals, sum of all angles on a basic straight line is 180 degrees. Then you get into triangles and their properties and a lot of similarities, right? So what are similarities and triangles? Again, you can stop, pause, and Google for a minute. Circles and their properties, circles, tangents, chords, drawing under inside the circle, etc. And again, what I've done in the course is I've worked a lot on basics and deriving and deriving is also super fun in geometry because you start with one simple rule. Okay, 180 degrees is a sum on a straight line. From that you build the next rule. From that you build the next rule. So some of you might really enjoy that process. But again, that section of geometry is for people who struggle with geometry or ignore geometry or want to start from zero and then build a solid foundation. And there's another section where if I assume you know the rule, it is just problem solving. And that section is actually quite easy because if you know the rule, then solving becomes fairly easy, right? By rule, I mean a formula. Okay, what is the in center, the radius, in radius for a circle drawn inside a triangle. And then if you know the formula, okay, this is the formula, then applying it is very, very easy, right? But what happens is people are scared of it. So the foundation part is to remove the fear. You learn aram se, you learn why things are happening. Then you just memorize the final formula eventually, right? So memory also will work. Then you have quadrangles and squares, rectangles, parallelograms, mensuration, and 3D objects, measurement, area, surface area, and then 3D objects mean circle, sphere, cylinder, pyramid, etc. Because once the foundations are in place, you see a new problem which is on a prism. You have to spend 10 minutes and find the formula for the prism, but that habit of solving problems and that confidence is already there, so that new knowledge later becomes very, very easy, right? So that would be your geometry. Number system terms and definitions are very important. Real numbers, prime numbers, co-prime numbers, factors, highest common factor, lowest common multiple. So factor means what, multiple means what. So terms and conditions are a very important part of number system and other algebra problems as well. Uh, Major topics would be division and remainders, right? What is a remainder when this is divided by this? When 9 raised to 181 is divided by 7, what is a remainder? Indices and cyclicity, powers basically 2 raised to 5. Uh, Sorry, I'm a little far from the mic, I think, so I'll come a little closer. 2 raised to 5 and or let's say 343 raised to 565. What is the last digit going to be? So you need to be clear in indices and then you learn a new concept known as cyclicality and then have a lot of fun around that. And then factorization and applications, right? So again, each of these topics themselves will have a few subtopics, which will be 15 minutes, 20 minutes each. But these are your major categories in number system. And then in number system, we also know that a lot of times if the problem says n, if I try and put a number and see the pattern, my work will be done. So that general problem solving is what we want to work on more than what we did in school, right? The rote method will not work here. In modern maths, we have theory of counting, B and C, permutation and combination. We have basics of probability, and Venn diagram, set theory, etc., and any other miscellaneous topics. So again, for CAT purposes, it's very, very limited. If you ignore calendar and these kind of problems, it does not matter because they're too specific only to one topic, one tool, and it's a game. You figure out the game, then it's very, very easy, right? So definitely a topic that, I mean, again, recommended mastery, but okay, if I'm prioritizing, my priority would be arithmetic, obviously, big priority, then algebra, then geometry. That would be my preferred way of following the subject, right? So yeah, that's about it for today. We'll get into each topic in more detail, or of course, if you go into the course, then you have everything listed out in order and totally sorted out. So, so what you will find in a topic is essentially you start with the first video, which is absolute fundamentals, and you just keep going subject by like just topic by topic, which is built on the previous topic, right? So you start with the beginning that will open up the next video for you. And the ideas learned in the first three videos will help with the fourth and fifth videos. And if you finish ratios and variations, what you have learned there will definitely help in the next topic, right? So this is also my preferred way of doing it or how the course is designed. So if you're a course member, definitely follow this order in the actual course section, right? So this is it for now. I will see you really soon with a lot of other topics and videos, including detailing out that a lot of stuff that we discussed today, which is the mindset, the what is the growth mindset, and even for example, let's say if I'm being smart about it, I'm working 12 hours a day. Let's say I have a job and it's a great job. It's not that I'm unhappy there, and I'm working 8-10 hours a day, and by after traffic and everything, I get only half an hour, 45 minutes to study. So time is limited, right? Time is of value. So in that case, what is the strategy that I should employ? I should employ this. I know arithmetic is more important than modern maths, right? So arithmetic, I will give time, even if it takes 2 months, I will want to master that, and then I get into the next idea, right? So depend because everybody will have different amounts of time. Some of you are in college, will have some extra time. Some of you are in engineering college, you might not have that much time as a some of those colleges don't even you don't even have to go, right? So I know a lot of students who their college is just a functionality. They have the whole day to themselves, so they can really accelerate, and they need to also spend extra time because they're usually behind compared to let's say an engineering graduate. So all of this put together, right? So how do I maximize my potential? Because I really do believe in. I don't personally know you, but because you have a human brain, and I believe in that, right? And that's, let's say, it should be, this is an idea that I definitely want to share with everyone. Okay, your brain can do amazing things because you have a human brain. It's not that I'm personally into you, but actually, and I also know that the problem is you because in my own journey, I've seen the problem is often me. It's not the subject, it's not the musical instrument that I'm trying to learn, which is difficult. It's me, right? In the relationships also some the problems a lot of times inside. So that and other ideas we'll keep seeing. So but for now I will stop so that there is some coherence to what we're discussing, and I hope you're done with what is the syllabus and what is the general mindset that is required, right? So with that, I will stop. Share your questions and ideas, or like, okay, what is it that is troubling you? What specific challenges that you have, and I can address that in the next video as well, right? I'm also looking for. I mean, I have a lot of ideas that I want to share anyway, right? Because this growth mindset idea, right, is very very important to me. That okay, you can learn something and you can become better at it, right? And if you don't believe it, then ignore CAT for a bit because with maths and studies, people have like sometimes a bad relationship. Try something completely different, right? Okay, I will learn the piano and then find the resources because the internet will give you resources and then try learning for 7 days. You will see there's such a massive improvement, right? My beginner's mindset also says that I will celebrate all victories. When I say massive improvement, is not that after 1 week you will become Mozart and Bach and you'll start doing concertos, but you will see that from nothing, so much is possible so easily. And that learning applies everywhere, right? So that is something that you really need to master. The act of learning itself is what you need to really master, because especially for you guys, like you are 18 to 24 years old, and your life, the future that I see right now is rapidly changing, and it will keep rapidly changing because now that technology factor is in place, right? So every few years everything is completely disrupted. That means you will have to learn a lot and learn at a great speed. So more than this subject and that subject, the mindset that we're talking about in the beginning is way more important, right? That how can I learn, believing that I can learn everything and learn it fast, also hyper learn, right? Okay, in 7 days, I've completely downloaded this one topic, right? Uh, so this and more ideas I will discuss in the next video. Follow the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, find the Telegram channel and join it so that you have an advance notice on when videos are happening. And that's it. I will see you really soon. Oh yeah, I can also do some magic here. I just learned today.